Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hearts, and today I'll be breaking down this 4-game NBA slate we have here on DraftKings. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like button, as it does really help out my channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be talking through my favorite spin-up plays, some core plays, some pivot plays, some value plays, all that good stuff in this slate breakdown. So make sure to hit that like button, and let's get into it. A recap of the core plays from yesterday. They're actually pretty solid once again. We got Jokic, who had 69 points. He had a triple-double. Karis LeVert, I think he had like 42. He did really good. Tyler Hero, 33. I think he had 33 at halftime. We absolutely got screwed on that. He was 1%. Was absolutely breaking the slate, and the game blew out by 30 points. He only played 24 minutes in total. The dude usually plays 35 to like 38 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, we could have had a massive night from basically unrostered Tyler Hero, and we got screwed by a blowout there, but still got 33 out of him. And then we got, I think, 17 from Coffee, even though he didn't start. So, yeah, another solid night for the core. But in terms of just my overall lineup, I played Luka. I mean, that's really all you need to know. I played Luka. So, yeah, I just didn't cash just because Luka had a floor game. Back-to-back nights where my superstar gets a floor game. So, frustrating stuff there. But let's move on to this 4-game slate. Try to put another very solid core together for the third straight day. Based on this slate so far, looking at it, once again, it's small. There's a little bit of injury news we have to keep an eye on for, but not a lot. And just in terms of pricing, it kind of feels like a lot of guys are priced up. Not a lot of like standout plays in terms of price points so far on the slate. But yeah, let's get into it. So for Golden State, I think Steph looks like a fantastic spin up play. We locked him in the other day. He had 41 real life points for us. Only 53 fantasy points, pretty score independent in that outing there versus Washington. But now we get a finals rematch versus Boston. We know what he did to Boston in the finals. So really like Steph here in this matchup. Poole with Klay Thompson back is just more of a very contrarian GPP play. I don't think you need to go there. It seems pretty forced at that price tag with him coming off the bench. Sure, he could have a huge game, but it's really risky going to him. I'd prefer just, get into Klay, who should see the minutes. He's actually been super solid the past like month and a half in terms of his fantasy output. Now, some of those games were without Steph, so maybe he had to do a little bit more. But yeah, I do like Klay a good amount. I really like Steph, and I think my favorite play would be Andrew Wiggins here at 5,800. Now, he's coming off of just some pretty bad games, as you can see, since he's come back from that injury. 20 fantasy points, 33, 31, 22, and 23 most recently. The thing I like about him is the minutes should be great on Wiggins. In this matchup, he should see closer to, 35-ish minutes. He was kind of seeing close to that if the game was close to start the season. So I would assume more towards 35-ish minutes for Andrew here. So at 5,800, I really like him in this matchup. Going to throw him in there. Green looks like a solid play there. I mean, he has upside, as you can see that last game, but he's just kind of a random GPP play for me. Not like a real priority, but you could definitely get to him. The rest of the team here, DiVincenzo. I don't think he's unplayable, but don't love the price tag for him. Same thing with Looney. Like, Looney looks decent, should see mid-20s minutes. Now with everyone back, could he get you there? Sure, yeah. But I just don't think there's a need to get to any of these value plays as of right now. Same thing with Lamb. He'll come off, he'll be aggressive off the bench, but I don't know if he'll see enough minutes in this matchup to be able to pay off that price tag. So it's really just kind of the main three for me: Wiggins, Steph, and Klay for me. Moving on to Boston, it really just depends on Jaylen Brown. If he's in, maybe I would take a shot on a guy like a Robert Williams or Horford. But if he's out, then obviously Tatum looks like a fantastic spin-up play, coming off of his best game of the season so far versus the Hornets there, 51 real life points. Smart would look very solid. I think he's close to 40 fantasy points per game without Jaylen Brown on the season. As you can see, the first two games without Brown, 43 and 39. Not going to shoot the ball the best, but he can still get you there with the double-double in assists and the points. So yeah, I mean, Smart looks great there if Brown's out. Same thing with Brogdon. The minutes aren't as great as Brogdon, even when he's doing well. You really need him to be hitting the shot to kind of offer enough fantasy output to really pay off his price tag. But yeah, I mean, the Boston guys look great here if Brown's out. If he's in, no real interest for me. I'm sure you can still take a shot on the guy like Robert Williams. I don't know why the price came up to 5.5. Pretty expensive for him. especially when he's, seeing less than 30 minutes. But we know he has a massive ceiling. He could definitely get a double-double in that time, get you some blocks. So I don't mind taking a dart throw on him. Horford, a little bit riskier, even though the minutes are more secure. I mean, he has upside. It's just, he's kind of all over the place. So right now, just not a lot of interest in this team until we get that Jaylen Brown news. Moving on to Toronto and Minnesota. Toronto, I don't think, they didn't play yesterday, so they're not coming off a back-to-back. I know Minnesota is. So for the Toronto side, Fred has kind of been leading the team here the past 2 games, as you can see, 61 fantasy points and 63. He's been shooting the ball great, especially from 3. So if you're one of those guys who likes to ride the hot streak with players, you could definitely look to him. Price is coming up. I'd still prefer getting to Siakam, even though the price is kind of up there. He'll be a very solid contrarian spin-up option. Not a lot of people will be going to him. He's been pretty low owned the past few games. Hasn't been doing the best. Last game, smash spot, 8 of 13 shooting. I just didn't get there because of the double-double upside that he should have had. And he, Fred VanVleet has kind of been taking over. So Siakam hasn't been doing his best. But yeah, I have a good amount of interest in both of those guys. Scotty Barnes has been doing better recently, as you can see. Minutes 37 plus. He's been doing 45 plus in 4 straight. So another guy you could ride the hot streak on. I just don't love the price tag, especially if he's not hitting his shots. He's really going to screw you. Gary Trent, price tag's up. The minutes are great. If he's really scoring independent, but he's gotten you there. A few games. It's just, I don't know. All these guys seem priced about right. So it's like if you fall on one of them, sure, but no real priorities or standouts. Maybe OG, just because he's getting a lot cheaper, has not been shooting the ball well or playing well, but yeah, I think maybe him, but with everyone back, it's kind of hard, kind of just forcing OG into your lineup and feeling great about it. For value, Precious has been doing well recently. He's seen about 18 to 25-ish minutes, depending on how he's playing. So I don't mind him. And then Boucher, always worth a look there. Minutes aren't always guaranteed, but he's super, super high usage, or not high usage, but high output when he's out there. Minnesota, coming off a back-to-back. Anthony Edwards did not play well. 7 of 17, 34 fantasy points, 16 points. So I don't mind him as a spin-up play. Another guy who doesn't really get a ton of ownership, especially in this matchup, which I think is a very solid matchup because Toronto has been very bad defensively. So I do like Anthony Edwards to get different there. If Gobert is in, I would assume maybe he's back. He missed the last night's game because it's start of a back-to-back. They're probably hoping to have him in this matchup here. So he's another contrarian play there at 7,000. Another guy who's been all over the place in terms of his fantasy output. A little bit risky because, let's see, he's played, I thought maybe they've played once? No, he's not played him this year so far. It'd be interesting to see if, Toronto is a little bit smaller guys. Maybe that kind of limits a guy like Gobert being out there, what to see, but he kind of be more of just a GPP play only for me. D'Lo, same thing. Hasn't been great recently. Kyle Anderson has kind of been the best out of the secondary plays compared to Ant-Man. So, yeah, Kyle Anderson looks decent here. I wouldn't expect a near triple-double in 2 straight games from him. He's more around, around 25-ish fantasy points. Yeah, he has a ceiling, but don't know if we can expect that. Yeah, I mean, if obviously Noel's out, or excuse me, Gobert's out, we can look to Naz Reid, who should fill in. He's very foul-prone, but he'd be almost a must-play there at 4,600 if we have no Gobert. Noel, he's a guy off the bench. He'll score. He looks okay. Taurean Prince, I don't mind him as a value play. Then it's really shot up just because Reed was in foul trouble. Luke Garza was messing with some foul trouble. So we could definitely look to Prince as some value. And then Luke Garza was the backup center to Reed. So we'll keep that in mind. A little bit better of a matchup here at 3,000, flat min for Luke Garza if, Reed's going to start and, he'll probably be the second guy off the bench for the bigs. Moving on to Brooklyn. I love Kyrie here. He should be back. Missed that last game. They held him out, but he's probable for tonight. Has not been great recently in the past 2 games without KD, but I do like this matchup here going against Chris Paul defense. So really, really like Kyrie. Hopefully, people will be off of him just because he hasn't been playing and hasn't been playing great the past 2 without KD. In terms of the rest of the team, Evans kind of seems a little bit too priced up for me. Claxton actually got there after being priced up 1,100 more randomly. But yeah, it's just too pricey for me at 7.4. Same thing with Ben Simmons, coming off a triple double, they priced him up, like 1,500 more. It's just sure you can land on them. I just don't think there's a need to. Royce O'Neal looks like an okay value play. I know he burned a lot of people last game, but I think he'd be my favorite out of those three secondary options behind Kyrie. He'd probably be my favorite there just because the price tag's a little bit better on him. Seth Curry's price came up. Don't think there's a need to get to him. TJ Warren, a little bit of interest there, but yeah, I mean, Joe Harris, you can always take that dart throw on. Not a lot of interest in this Brooklyn side besides Kyrie is like the main priority. And then in terms of like secondary plays, sure, you could get to O'Neal, Warren, or Harris. I think those would be the three I'd take a shot on. Don't like the price tags in any of the other guys. On to Phoenix. I love me some Ayton here at 7-7. It really helps if Paul's in. Even if Paul's out, still love Ayton here in this matchup against Brooklyn. He's a guy who's a massive ceiling. He'll shoot the ball a ton. He's just really been screwed the past like month and a half just because they either win a game or they'll just get blown out. So he's lost a ton of minutes. But yeah, he should see mid-30s minutes, has 50-plus ceiling. So really like Ayton for tonight. And I do like Chris Paul a good amount too as well. If he's going to play without a minutes limit, I think Chris Paul looks fantastic there at 7-5. Bridges would be a very solid secondary option. Even with Chris Paul back, we know he has a ceiling. He'll shoot a lot as well. Those three will lead the team. And then in terms of secondary options, like sure, Cam Johnson's back, but I don't think he'll see enough minutes. He'll be on a minutes limit. Dwayne Washington got a DNP last game. I'm assuming they'll play just Lee, Craig, Saric, maybe Saban Lee gets some minutes. So I don't think there's a real need to get to any of these value guys. Maybe a Torrey Craig. He should see mid-20s minutes. He'll be okay, but yeah, not a lot of interest besides the main three for me. And then moving on to the last game, we got Embiid, who looks fantastic at 11K. My boy James Harden, who screwed me out of $1,000 parlay and screwed me out of my lineup. So yeah, in DFS, you guys need short-term memory because even though someone may have screwed you like James Harden did, his worst career game where I played him, you got to throw that away, and you got to realize he's still a great play. So love Embiid, love Harden. The secondary guys, Maxi's coming off the bench. You can get to him. You can get to Harris. You can get to a Milton as value plays and a Niang, but no real standouts besides obviously the main two. And then moving on to Portland, Dame has been quietly going off. If you haven't realized, he's had like 35 plus the past like 6 games. So another guy you could ride the hot streak on. Him, Van Fleet, Scotty Barnes are all three of like the hottest players coming into this slate tonight. Nurkic, if he's in, he looks like a contrarian spend up. Don't love him, or contrarian play, not contrarian spend up. Contrarian play here. Don't love him because he's very foul prone and he's going against Embiid, who we know is going to get his, and that makes it very risky to play Nurkic. Grant looks okay there. I actually do like him a good amount for some reason. Simons looks okay. Evan back. No real need to get to him. And I do like Josh Hart a good amount here. Not going to be a guy who's going to go out there and shoot a ton, but he's very solid at getting rebounds and getting assists, and he can get you some steals as well or blocks. So yeah, I mean, he has upside here at this price tag at 4,900. The minutes have been down recently just because he's been playing bad, but yeah, he should see closer to mid-30s minutes. So I do really like Josh Hart a good amount. And yeah, that's going to be it for Portland. It comes down to if you think Nurkic is going to get in foul trouble, you can run with Eubanks. He'll be the backup center. Sharp will get some minutes. I don't think there's a need to get to him at 3,400. And then, where is he? Gary Payton, if he plays, he should see about 15 to 20-ish minutes. You can take a dart throw with him at the flat minimum price tag, but don't think there's real need. And yeah, that does it for the slate breakdown, guys. If you guys like it, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.